My name is Tamara Chambers, and this is Tamara Just Saw. And today, I went and saw the greatly anticipated Glass. This is gonna shock and surprise you, but I actually saw Unbreakable when it came out growing up. I had a great time with Split, and I was really looking forward to this movie. I feel like they did a good job hyping it up, and the trailers looked really cool, and I'm on the M. Night train, guys. I know that Lady in the Water and The Happening and He Who Shall Not Be Named, The Last Airbender, those were not good movies, but I really like all of the others that he's done. I really like him. I'm such an M. Night defender. I think it takes guts to continuously tell your own stories and to make some really good movies and some stinkers, and then just to keep going. This, I think, is gonna be a very polarizing reaction review video because I loved Glass. And I say it's gonna be polarizing because as of right now, it has a 36% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critics and a 67% for audience. I do not understand that at all. I went in with high hopes, but keeping my expectations low. And I mean, the first 10 minutes of the movie are unbelievable. The sound design, the shots, just the reintroduction of our characters, and it's so good. I think, though, without spoiling anything, that a lot of people are gonna have an issue with the end. I was on Rotten Tomatoes. I know Rotten Tomatoes isn't like the be-all, end-all of everything, but people listen to it. So the biggest complaint that critics had was that the end didn't feel final enough, or it felt cheap, or it felt like a stupid M. Night twist, and it wasn't earned. And I don't know. I think I need to have a conversation with someone face to face about it, because I do not feel that way at all. I was crying at the end. I cried at the end of Glass, an M. Night movie. Again, I don't know how to say his name. Shyamalan? Which one is it, guys? Help. Samuel L. Jackson's character takes a long time to really come out of his shell, if you will. He's heavily sedated in the hospital that he's staying in, and that's in the trailer, so I don't think that's a spoiler. Sorry if it is. He's heavily sedated, so for most of the movie, you really don't get him, and then once he comes out, it's really fun. Bruce Willis as David Dunn is great. Okay, here's the thing. I wish he would have been in it a little bit more. I know that he had his movie in Unbreakable, and Samuel L. Jackson was also there and a big part of that too. And then Split was James McAvoy, but I don't know. Bruce Willis wasn't super in the movie, and when he was, I really enjoyed it. I do wish he would have been in it a little bit more, but to get to just the masterpiece of it, James McAvoy. McAvoy? It's spelled McAvoy, but everyone says McAvoy. Names, help! He puts on the performance of a lifetime. I got the sense from the trailers that maybe he might have one or maybe two really big scenes where he switches back and forth a bunch. Because in the trailer you see that light mechanism that changes him so that if he gets to the beast, then they can quickly change him back. And I was surprised to see that it comes out a lot more than I initially thought it would, and every time is just better than the last. If you don't even like M. Night Shyamalan, M. Night, if you don't even like his movies, if you didn't like Split, you probably won't like it. But if you haven't seen Split or Unbreakable, you don't care about Glass at all, just go to enjoy and admire James's performance, because oh my God, it's so good. He's what triggered me crying in the end, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And I will say that the guy who plays Bruce Willis's son is so good, and he's the same son from Unbreakable, right? I'm pretty sure. And he's so good, and they have such a good connection. I think the character building in this was excellent. I think for a movie like 19 years, right, in the making. It does a good job with coddling the audience members who maybe didn't see the first or didn't see the second or haven't seen them in like years and years and years. And then it also did a really good job of not like repeating itself too much for the audience members who are on board for these movies and are stoked to see Glass after all these years. They touched upon things again that you needed to know, but in a way that didn't annoy me, in a way that I was like, oh yeah, I did actually forget about that, so thank you for bringing that back up. I think storytelling-wise, it's just excellent. I'm not good at calling things, and like when The Village came out, I was like the only person in the world who didn't call the twist of The Village, and I loved that movie. I still love The Village. Fight me, I don't care, don't fight me. I know it's not good, but I love it. This, if you say that you're gonna guess the twist, you're lying to me. And I don't believe you, and I never will. And that was another thing on Rotten Tomatoes that critics were saying that they didn't enjoy the twist or didn't feel weighted enough or good or just like a throwaway. And I just have to disagree wholeheartedly. I thought it was so good. I couldn't believe what was unfolding before me. And now to think back on it, sure, totally. It seems simple. It's a good like bringing together of stories, but damn, I loved it. They spent a lot of time in the psych ward and the mental institution, and I don't think that bothered me at all. I think it was well paced. I don't like long movies. The Tamara's never seen for this week was Speed. It's an hour and a half, and I still thought that was too long, even though it's amazing. But Glass is over 2 hours long, and I think that it was all pretty good. I don't know that I would cut anything out. I enjoyed all of it. I really enjoyed our three main characters, and then we've got three like side characters to each one of them. I really enjoyed also the doctor, Sarah Paulson. I think that this movie is such a feat in making a comic book superhero movie that's not about a comic book superhero. It's not a Marvel film at all. It's definitely not one of the, superhero films that we've been seeing, but it is a movie about comic book characters and comic books, and the integration of comic books in the story and the cinematography are so good and so well done. M. Night's cameo that we all knew was coming was really great. It felt nice. It felt like he was trying to say something specific. It felt good. Let your dad take a walk, Jesus. I think any kind of plot hole that I thought was bothering me was explained in the end. Sarah Paulson's character as the doctor is like, you all have grand delusions that you are superheroes, and so I'm trying to convince you that you're not. It's like, well, clearly they are superheroes, okay? You've seen what they do. Why is this the plot that they're not superheroes? Of course they're superheroes, and then it's explained away, and you're like, oh, I see. There's a great line in the movie, and it says, comic books are an obsession. Have you ever been to a comic book convention? And I laughed so hard. But again, it took itself very seriously. When I say I laughed at things because they were so serious, and it needed that for the story. But there were a few laughs. Nothing at all that was trying to get a laugh, though. In a way that there wasn't any, like a goofy character. Like, it was all very serious, and it worked so well. I wrote, that M. Night twist is fire. Didn't think I'd cry in the Glass movie, but here we are. And then on the end, I wrote, that is how you correctly use social media in a movie. I think I've said this before on this show, also on Tamara's Never Seen, that I have a hard time really getting into movies that use social media as a part of a storytelling device. I don't know why. I know we're in such an age of it, and it should just feel very natural to watch, but it cheapens it for me. It feels dated already because I just get the feeling that it will be dated, and I don't know. I don't enjoy it. I loved this. I really, really enjoyed the ending. I loved the openness of it. I was searching to see if there was an end credits scene, and he said, nope, once the story's done, it's done. I'm not really planning on continuing the story, with a huge caveat that I probably will, and I might, and I probably will. So gear up for that. And I love that. I love that these are his stories. This is all him, and I don't know. It bums me out that it's not getting great reviews, and it bums me out that he might see that and not continue it on, because I love it. And if it doesn't continue on, I think it got the ending that it needed and deserved. And I think that's going to be pretty polarizing. I don't think many people are going to agree with me, but I'm so pumped on this movie right now. I am going to have to go rewatch it. See it for the acting alone. because it's just out of this world. James McAvoy, you queen. I just hope that a couple nominations come out of this movie for them. It was just overall a really strong movie. And whether you like the ending or not, I think leading up to it was so strong that sure, if you don't like it, it might spoil the rest of it, but I don't know. I think it's just so killer. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next week. Bye. Oh, my bones, my glass bones.